Voyage.
We were already in the midst of an off-the-books operation that could get Alex and I in serious trouble. But now, Mickey had threatened to murder, crucify no less, the assassin's pastor brother. If anyone ever found out about this, I'd go to prison, as would Alex. We locked eyes across the jet, coming to the same conclusion simultaneously.
No, nothing to say. Okay.
Mickey took out his phone and dialed.
What's up?
Shmulik, Mekora ata yechul le'avod chayom.
Enough.
Enough what?
Put the phone away.
Shmulik, keep your phone on.
Mickey put his phone down.
You'll confess to the FBI. Agent Harris here will give you whatever backstory she needs on how you were arrested. And you'll confess to us here, now. And your brother will continue spreading the good word.
With your cooperation, we should be able to get the death penalty off the table.
Should. What a great deal for me.
Who hired you?
Jonas Wagner.
And what did he hire you to do?
Killed Nancy Wolf.
And why did he ask you to say something in Hebrew after you did it?
To make Dirk think his wife was killed by a Jewish extremist.
So, that.
It was supposed to give him strength to take his place. He was too soft, too gentle-hearted.
Good. You say that on the record to the FBI. We're done.
We landed at a private runway back in the States. Alex escorted Vince, his hands still bound with the zip tie, off the plane. I'll be there in a second.
Be careful.
I physically blocked Mickey and Aaron from leaving the plane. What the fuck was that?
You're welcome.
His brother is a complete innocent. And you weren't bluffing.
No, I wasn't.
Do you think that's okay? Do you?
If Dirk Wolf becomes president, a new Third Reich will sweep over the world. He'll use his legitimate political power to slowly remake America. He'll have command of the most dominant economic and military power in the world. A 1,000-year Reich won't just be an idea. It'll be a very real possibility.
So killing an innocent man is fine?
No, but fine is not part of the discussion anymore. We stop it, no matter the cost. So I think it's okay? No. Yetzer hara, yetzer hatov. I understand sin, but if we must damn ourselves to stop this, if my soul is the cost to prevent this, I pay it gladly.
Yeah. I don't want to see you two again. After this, we're over. Lose my number.
We understand. I regret that it came to that.
Our contacts in the press will be leaked within the next 24 hours. Tell as many people as you can at the FBI, so you're not implicated directly in the leak.
Fine. Goodbye.
Thank you, Carmen.
You're not welcome.
My father, Helmut Mussmann, was not buried under his own name. An Americanized pseudonym was engraved on his tombstone. I can't even remember it now. Jerry something, perhaps? He would have hated that, I'm sure. It made visiting his grave a surreal experience. I stopped here at the cemetery on days where I felt lost, or excited. Today was a bit of both. Polls had us up 11 points. This wasn't going to be Johnson versus Goldwater, but it was still looking like we'd pull off a landslide victory, something that seemed impossible a year ago. My father took me back to Germany once. It was an insane risk for him to take, but he was old by then. He was excited to go. He talked endlessly about showing me beer gardens in Munich, the Black Forest, taking a boat on the Albie River, taking a cable car to Heidelberg Palace. We planned to even go to Neuschwanstein Castle in the Bavarian Alps. We'd ultimately do almost none of that. He was curious to see the Reichstag building, so we went, in Berlin. What neither of us knew was that Germany's memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe was located near the Reichstag. Foolishly, we ventured toward it, not realizing what it was. The monument was composed of 2,711 rectangular concrete blocks laid out in a grid. It was almost 5 acres. Helmut was so upset that we went immediately back to the hotel. We managed more or less to do some touristy, relaxing things here and there, but Helmut was on edge the entire time. And before we left, he said something that shocked me. He wanted to go to Auschwitz. I tried to talk him out of it, but he insisted. And so we went, and Helmut Mussmann strode around what remained of the camp where he had been commandant. It was remarkably well preserved in many ways. I could see in his eyes as he walked along railroad tracks through the main gate, under the wrought iron sign that said, Arbeit macht frei, work sets you free. Memories flooded him. He was lost in them, like traveling back in time. I asked him, why are you doing this to yourself? Let's just leave. He refused. Until an old man, walking the Auschwitz grounds, stopped and stared at my father. This man must have been in his 80s or maybe even 90s. And he stared hard, like he couldn't place my father, but felt some gut feeling he knew him. Helmut stared back, defiant. Neither man would stop. I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't have been there. I finally managed to hurry Helmut off. We flew home. He had a heart attack in his sleep on the plane, like that old Jew had cursed him, and finally gotten his revenge for his people. We buried him the next day, fast, like the Jews do. If he were still alive today, I think for once in my life, he would have told me I did a good job. Dirk was going to be elected president. We'd done it. Enough of the past. I was ready to walk into our bright future. I turned away from my father's grave and headed for my car. A faint sense of worry grew within me. The sirens couldn't be for me, could they? Certain I'd be laughing at myself in a few minutes, I nonetheless started running for my car. I managed to get my door open just as 6 FBI vehicles surrounded my car on all sides, and a familiar face appeared, hopping out of one of the vehicles, gun drawn.
It's over, Mr. Wagner.
Oh, I hadn't heard.
You're under arrest.
For what?
Conspiracy to assassinate candidate Wolf's wife, Nancy.
You can prove that?
We got him, you smug son of a bitch.
As Agent Ayers handcuffed me against the hood of my car, my mind spun with damage control. It would be my word against Uwe's. There was no evidence I'd given the order, no paper trail, no electronic trail. Word was passed to me. Dirk couldn't be seen visiting me. I insisted to anyone who would listen that this was a Jewish plot to undermine our election, but it seemed nobody would listen.
Mickey and I had been called to Charlotte's bedside. She'd been hospitalized. She'd gotten a particularly bad case of pneumonia. Nothing life-threatening for a young, healthy person, but Charlotte was neither young nor healthy.
You did it.
We hope so. The campaign is distancing themselves from Jonas. They're spinning the same story about how Uwe was mentally ill, deranged, and nothing he says can be considered trustworthy. Even as they're saying that, they're not backing Jonas. It's the smartest way they can handle it, making it seem like the work of a crazed lone gunman. Charlotte looked at Mickey.
I asked your great-grandfather 60 years ago if the killing was over.
What did he say?
He said, for now, I'll ask you the same thing.
I can only give the same answer.
Larry had to carry a terrible lie the last time. He had to lay in my bed, look in my eyes in the moonlight, make love to me, care for me, adore me, and never tell me what he did for the Aleph Bet to Noah. I thought people who loved each other couldn't lie. I know better now.
Well, this time they beat themselves. We just needed to show the world what they did.
The world is harsh and cruel. and horrible things can happen. Can he still win?
No.
By any possible measure, this is a devastating turn of events for his campaign.
It's too close to Election Day for any polling to be meaningful.
But he's not going to win. No chance.
I pray you're right.
Charlotte died that night of respiratory failure, with Larry, her husband, holding her hand. Dirk addressed the nation in a video posted to his campaign's social media channels, and also broadcast on every major news network.
My fellow Americans, by now you will have heard all sorts of things about me, which will sound bizarre at best and nefarious at worst. But here's the only thing you need to understand. When someone truly wishes to change the world, there will always be people who want to stop them. The National Independent People's Party is a party of peace. And peace is scary to people who only know war. A madman killed my wife. A madman tried to kill me. But by the grace of God, I'm still here. God has kept me here for you, and I will never stop in my mission to bring you and the world an everlasting peace. Only because we are on the precipice of something so great has the challenge been so difficult. Do not let a few bad actors define the future of this country.
There wasn't much we could do other than get out of our way to accept victory. Javier expressed sincere condolences to candidate Wolf while subtly implying that clearly something was rotten in Wolf's campaign, and by association with Wolf himself. Election day arrived.
Hey, you going to vote?
At lunch. You want to come?
Sure. You know, Putin loves dogs.
What a sweetheart.
Loves them. Had all sorts of them. Black Lab, Karakachan, Akita, Albie, Sharplaninach, even 2 North Korean dogs. There's a picture of him rolling around in the snow with 2 of his dogs.
Everyone loves dogs.
No one really knew on a countrywide level who Putin was. And within a couple of months, he became president of Russia. You know how?
How?
Bombings. The Chechens, supposedly, were bombing apartments all over Russia. Scared the shit out of the everyday Russian. The prime minister said he would take care of it.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. But at one point, the Speaker of the Duma, Gennady Seleznyov, announced one of the bombs had exploded in Volgodonsk. Only problem was, it didn't explode until 3 days later.
People didn't notice?
Sure they did. In another apartment building, in Ryazan, the residents found a bomb in the basement made with hexogen, which could only be found at one factory in the Ural Mountains, which was super fortified and guarded, and which the Chechens couldn't have gotten to.
No one noticed that?
Of course they did. 3 FSB officers were arrested. The public story was that it was a training exercise. They were dummy bombs, sacks of sugar, no explosives. But the FSB office of Ryazan said this announcement came as a surprise to us. Meanwhile, Putin launches the Second Chechen War. Yeltsin resigns in 1999 and appoints Putin as his successor. Now he's the popular prime minister who took care of the Chechens. Never mind that no one ever really proved the Chechens did the bombings.
False flag?
You know who else said it was?
Who?
Alexander Litvinenko, former FSB agent, flees the country in the year 2000, poisoned by polonium-210 and dies in 2006. And all those pesky questions about the bombings, many of which could be raised by independent journalists, well, since Putin became president, 43 journalists have been killed in Russia. Hundreds have been arrested. Eventually, there was no need to kill them. Enough laws were changed that reporting the truth could be considered a crime. First, it was just a law about foreign funding. Today, there's more than 50 laws in Russia that restrict press freedom. You know what Putin's approval rating is? 80%.
The elections are fixed?
That's the thing. Not exactly. Candidates can campaign freely against him, to a degree. But the media is owned by the state, and that's where people get all their information. It would be easier to think they just fixed the election and that's that. The reality is more complex. You ever listen to him speak?
I don't speak Russian.
You hear him talk, and he doesn't sound crazy. He sounds quite reasonable, actually. You listen to him talk long enough, you might think what he's saying makes sense. So when he invades the Ukraine and says he's doing it because they're neo-Nazis, more people than you might think in Russia believe him. And whoever doesn't, well, what are they going to do about it? Whenever Putin's term is supposed to end, he just amends the Constitution.
You think that could happen here?
You don't?
We reached the polling place. Though I knew intuitively that with Dirk being the governor of the state, Colorado in general and Denver in particular should be strong for him, I was still surprised to see so many people wearing shirts with his name. Hats and lapel pins and backpacks emblazoned with the flag of the National Independent People's Party. After the scandal that I just broke, I thought people might be a little more shy about that sort of thing. He's winning Colorado, but we knew that.
Nadezhda umирает в слезни.
I don't want to know. I went home and reluctantly turned on the TV.
Mickey and I watched as the votes came in with Javier at campaign headquarters.
You two look like you're at a funeral.
Go to enough of them, you expect to attend more.
There's no way.
He's right.
His campaign manager is in jail right now. You really think Florida's gonna pick him over me? Or Texas? Or California? Or Arizona? After all of these madness, people who have spent their entire life filling in that little circle on either Democrat or Republican, and ignoring anyone that wasn't one of those, they've proven they're an unstable third party.
Aaron, I have the solution for your nerves.
What's that?
Vodka. It's our next president.
Cheers.
You two ran a great campaign. You should be proud. There's only one thing I would change.
What's that?
When we do this again in the White House, let's get some Don Julio.
No one called today. No one visited today. I was persona non grata. Only through bribing a gang member who had the next cell over was I able to acquire a smartphone, which I could use to track the election results as they came in. The early results heavily favored Javier Ramirez. It looked like he was going to win Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Ohio. Then, a surprise. Early results indicated we might win in New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, D.C., traditional Democratic strongholds, and then Alabama and Mississippi, traditional Republican strongholds. We were projected to win Brooks County in Texas that had voted Democratic in every election since 1912, and Leslie County in Kentucky, which had voted Republican in every election since 1880. We were uniting the country in a way no Democrat or Republican ever had, under our one party. I felt a smile spread across my face. It wasn't over.
Not able to handle watching the frantically reported election results, I went to a bar down the street. Divey enough to not have TVs.
What are you having?
Long Island iced tea.
Coming up? Open or closed out?
Open. I sat there and got good and drunk. I watched the people at the bar, laughing, playing pool, flirting. Not a care in the world. No understanding or concern about what was going on around them. I tried to tamp down my fear as irrational. Surely he wasn't going to win, but until the election was called, I'd still feel that nervous ball in the pit of my stomach.
Another?
Yeah.
To King George, no more kings will rule this country.
They just called Hawaii for us.
Aloha. To the Hawaiians, then.
He won New Hampshire.
A lousy 4 electoral votes.
New Hampshire went blue in 7 of the last 8 elections.
Means nothing. We're good. Have another drink.
But as the evening wore on, it seemed like it meant something. The race was much closer than we had thought. Everyone knew it. The festive mood the campaign headquartered was muted, and slowly all chatter was replaced by tense watching of the results. Eventually, we reached the twilight hours, 1, 2 a.m., when everyone had gone to sleep, when the winner would be called.
Last call. One more?
No, I'll close it.
Got you.
I paid my tab and stumbled out of the bar. It was a little after 2 a.m. It was a few blocks to my place. I'd fallen to bed, close my eyes, and wake up to the end of this long nightmare. I walked by a gas station. The attendant was staring at his phone, intently. I wondered what he was looking at.
2 million votes.
Pennsylvania.
Have they called it?
They called it 5 minutes ago. My contact at the broadcaster called me for a statement.
I meant the whole thing.
So did I. I didn't know how to tell him. How to tell any of them. They'd won. We'd lost. Dirk Wolf would be the next president of the United States. We met with Carmen and Agent Volkov the next morning after a few hours to sober up. I had hoped I'd drunkenly imagined the whole thing.
What happens now?
Our true war begins.
Endgame is a production of Voyage Media. The series is produced by Nat Mundel, Robert Mitas, and Dan Benamor. Executive produced by Norman Shabel, based on Norman Shabel's novel, The Aleph-Bet Conspiracy, available on Amazon. A link is in the show notes. Directed by Semmel. Written by Dan Benamor. Starring Maya Imani Estephanos as Carmen and Mitch Urban as Volkov. Additional cast credits available in the show notes. Edited, sound designed, and mixed by Christopher Moore. Original music by Derlis Gonzalez. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you're listening. And subscribe now for future episodes.